this miserable little bastard from Bremerton, Washington, Joseph Kennedy, who just hates the fact that he can't put on a big show with his prayers up to God in the middle of a football field on the 50-yard line. Why don't you? Oh, never mind. So many things to say. But anyway, the people in Bremerton who are supporting the school district, who are saying, yeah, there is a constitution, numbnuts, to this Kennedy freak. But those supporting the school district say that Kennedy has radically, according to the Washington Post, recast the events that led to his dismissal, and that his actions during the 2015 football season, 2015, were hardly private acts of faith. They weren't. They're about as public as you can get. I mean, where else in a town of Bremerton, Washington, can you get as much attention as on the 50-yard line of the football field in the high school stadium when a game is over? Oh, my God. Anyway, this fascist little Christian asshole, like so many of them, he puts on his Facebook page this: I think I just might have been fired for praying. Oh, get fucking real, Joe. You were fired for violating the Constitution of the United States and putting the school board and the school at risk. And now, with your bullshit Supreme Court case, you've put all of us at risk. You whiny little son of a bitch. I am so sick of these fascist Christians who are, they're so put upon. Oh, I was fired for praying. You're going to burn in hell for lying, you idiot. But there is no hell, of course. Anyway, his little whine, of course, it drew attention from the usual clutch of morons and assholes, including the Fox sewer pundits and His Honor, the great Christian Donald J. Trump. However, the supporters of what the school district did, fire this asshole, they try to point out the obvious to the fascist little Christian jerkwads, and that is that dear Mr. Kennedy's rights are no more important, actually less, than those of students and parents who do not want to mix religion and school instruction. I say his rights are less important because he's trying to use his so-called rights to force people into a religious posture that he chooses that nobody else the fuck wants. Why don't you pray at home, Joe? Oh, that wouldn't be as much fun, would it? Asshole. Now, in his lawsuit, what Joe is trying to do here, he's trying to characterize the school district's, quote, this is what it says in his brief filed by 11 law professors who identify themselves as church-state scholars. And they say that Kennedy is trying to characterize the school district's, quote, concern for the religious freedom and equality of its students as nothing more than hostility to his own religious practice, a move that turns on its head decades of well-reasoned school prayer jurisprudence. The brief went on to say, it does not reflect religious hostility, but instead vindicates religious equality for a school to require that its employees avoid, like the coach, coercing or compelling students, even subtly, to adopt favored religious beliefs or practices, end quote. So these 11 law professors who see themselves as so-called church-state scholars, trying to explain to so many just dumb shit Americans. Oh, they took away his right to pray? God damn, so to speak. People who do that. Because this jerkwad joke, yes, he's a jerkwad. He's an asshole. He knows exactly what he's done. This guy is no more a believer in Jesus or the Christian God than he's a believer in a fucking true stump. He wants attention, and he's gotten it. He's a crybaby, whiny-ass fascist Christian like all of them. Oh, you're trampling on my rights. They fired me because I wanted to pray. Jesus. Now, jerkwad Joe Kennedy and his wife have left Bremerton, obviously, it should be obvious, and moved to Florida to care for her ailing father. Joe returned to Bremerton last month to show reporters around his blue-collar hometown of about 40,000. He goes back to meet reporters. Joe, if Jesus were around, he'd grab you by the scruff of your neck and kick your ass all the way across Puget Sound to Seattle. Do you know that? God. Joe said as he greeted, I'm quoting from the Post, Joe said as he greeted former students on the stadium track, quote, "It never should have been a big thing. It was supposed to be me and God. That's it." You lying fuck. You lying little shit. You're breaking a 10 commandment there, asshole. If it's only about you and God, then do what your Messiah told you to do. Or rather, what he told you not to do. He was asked by one of the reporters if God cares where he prays. And the jerkwad answered, "Well, I don't think he cares either way, but that was my covenant, so I do." What? No, your covenant, assholes, when you got circumcised. That's your covenant. Oh, God. Ah! Okay, where am I? Now, when the coach's players would confide in him about their troubles, he would say he understood because he had seen worse. Now, there's something about that. I played football in high school, and the last person I would have gone to talk about the troubles I had my junior and senior year was my coach, backfield coach. He wasn't the head coach. He was the backfield coach because I was a running back. Halfback, fullback, I'm sorry. And I was living by myself. In 1959, right? I'm 17, I'm living by myself in a rooming house across the street from the high school. If anybody in that student body had problems, it would have been me. And believe me, I had problems. But to go to a football coach? Hey, coach, I'm really fucked up. Can you help me? Yeah, give me 20 push-ups and then we'll talk. I mean, come on. Where was I? Anyway, when his players would confide about their troubles, he would describe his terrible childhood in Bremerton with uninterested adoptive parents, foster homes, and a brief stay at a boys' home in eastern Washington. Oh, and he would say to these kids, at least according to, what the reporters reported, he would say this, quote, "I was always in trouble. I got kicked out of just about every school here." He was driving through Bremerton, pointing out landmarks. "Always fighting and in trouble for something. Total disregard for authority. I was a terrible kid. I can admit that now." End quote. Poor baby. Poor baby. Well, then now we understand. That's why you have to walk out in the middle of a fucking football field in a high school stadium and get down on the 50-yard line and act like you believe in something. Now we understand. He was at times homeless. And one of the stops on the tour he was taking these reporters on was at a Catholic church, where he said he sneaked in and spent the night when he was 9. Oh, well, don't stop there, Joe. What happened? Did the Virgin Mary show up? Did you see God's face on a piece of toast? I mean, surely you mentioned the Catholic Church because, you know, the Catholics, they have these fucking miracles 24/7. So what was yours? Did one of the statues start talking to you? Joe, don't stop there. Another stop is the apartment where he lived by himself during high school. Oh, bro, yo, hey, Joe, been there, done that. God damn, woo. We are like connected. So, I don't know about your apartment, Joe. Mine was one goddamn room. And the bathroom down the hall. And a bunch of old fuckers lived there. And the landlady was a divorced woman who was pretty damn good looking, too, as a matter of fact. But what was yours like, Joe? I mean, my football coach, Coach Carson, told me very clearly, Malloy, you get in my office by last bell by 9 o'clock every morning. If you're not here, I'm going to come across the street and drag your ass out of bed. How about you, Joe? Did you have a coach who counseled you like that? That's what they called counseling in 1959. Have your ass here or I will drag you out of bed. You got it? Yes, sir. Now give me 50 push-ups. So as soon as he got his high school diploma, oh, by the way, he didn't play football because he was too small, he said. Okay. We had small kids, well, 2 on our team, Coach Joe, and we called them scatbacks. We just made the word up, scatback, because they were so goddamn fast and they were small. Never mind. So then Joe enlisted in the Marine Corps as soon as he got his diploma. And he said that experience put him right back on the right path. You're goddamn right. Nothing like the Marine Corps boot camp to put your ass on the right path. Right, Joe? Huh? And he said he was saved. You know that term. Christians always ask you, are you saved? I guess it comes from Jesus saves, Moses invests, or something like that. Are you saved? Saved from what? Saved from the fiery pits of hell and Satan's luring you into the life of a podcast host where you say bad shit on your podcast. Oh, forget it. He said he was saved when he asked God for help one night when he and his wife were having troubles. He asked God for help. All right. Now, he said it's hard to explain how that felt. He said, quote, when they say you're saved, it makes sense to me now what saved means. I was saved from who I was at that time. Oh, my God. Schizophrenia. Is that right, Joe? There's this you and there's that you. And you were saved from that you, or were you saved from this you? He goes on and explains that a chance encounter with the Bremerton High School athletic director led to the part-time job coaching with junior varsity and assisting with the varsity team. He said he knew nothing about football strategy. He said, quote, others could do the X's and O's. I wanted to help them be the best young men they could be, end quote. You don't do that, Joe, on a fucking high school football team. Come on. Enough with this sports bullshit in this country. Football in high school doesn't give you character. If you play, if you're not a bench warmer, it bruises you up. It makes you extremely angry when you get tackled behind the line of scrimmage. It makes you want to punch somebody in the fucking nose. It makes you want to run like hell with the ball. Those are not qualities of becoming a responsible adult, Joe, you want an example? Look at Herschel Walker here in Georgia, who's running for what? Senator? Fucker can't even spell his own name. Well, he was a big, college football star at University of Georgia back in 1980, 81, somewhere around there, right? And then he went to play with the New Jersey Generals for Donald Trump, the United States Football League. Remember that abortion? Yeah, I'm sure you do. Where was I? Oh, yeah. You don't get character from playing on a football team. And you don't get character from being in the Marine Corps. You know what you get from being in the Marine Corps? An insatiable desire to kill people and smash things. That's the idea of the Marine Corps, Joe. God damn. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.